Hello everyone, welcome to my seller strategy. In today's webinar, we are going to discuss the four different ways for you to sell your house in today's market. Believe it or not, selling a house is not only just one way. There's multiple options in today's market right now. And I'm going to talk to you about the most four popular strategy to sell your house, including, of course, the regular active listing, active marketing onto the market. And also, we're going to talk about the buy before you sell strategy and the creative financing option. Some of you may refer to seller financing option. And last but not least, selling it to investor. Don't just turn off the webinar yet, because I know some of you may assume, this is just another way for advertise or investor. Not really, because I'm gonna cover all the four strategy, and each of them gonna have their own benefit as well as cons associated with that strategy as well. And I will cover all of that in this webinar so that you have a clear understanding and also determine which strategy is best for your situation. With that, let's dive right into strategy number one, which is the active marketing strategy. In this, basically, you are going to hire a real estate agent. It's um, um, very popular, right? This is sometimes called a traditional option to sell the house, right? But it's the key points, the keywords that I emphasize here is the active marketing. The active is a very key, because in the active marketing, a real estate agent can actually use marketing strategy, including mailing, social media, videos, text, and phone call to basically advertise for your properties with the hope to increase your property exposure, and more buyers come check out your property, and therefore going to be more likely to sell your house. All right. The real estate agent also going to negotiate with, like, on your behalf, going to negotiate with the buyer agent to make sure that you get the best out of this deal, as well as the last but not least important key point when you use an agent is that the knowledge of the contract, right? To navigate the contract to make sure that you are able to protect yourself if anything's happen. All right. So active hiring a real estate agent, very popular method. But some of the people may not know that they actually can have the right to interview agents. Okay. In fact, that is something that you should do, because we never know who's going to be that agent is and how is that agent work. And then you putting the house, the most expensive property of your own, in their hands, right? So having the question, interview those agents, going to be the must have before you hiring an agent. Okay, we have some suggested list of questions, something regarding to, for example, do you work as a full-time realtor? You want to hire all the time a full-time realtor. Okay, or if you have to hire a part-time agent, make sure that they work with a team or a broker that work as a full-time. If the whole company, a whole team working part-time, you might have a problem, because here's the thing, buyer can call them all the time, right? And if the realtor doesn't work, or if they don't have a system to respond to the question, how are they for sure? How are they for sure they to be able to get the question answered and make sure that your house gets sold on the market, right? So that's the reason why it's an important question to ask. How many closed buyers and sellers that they already did, and how many potential that they have on the pipeline for next month, right? This is regarding to the what's the word? The ability to continue working with the clients, right? If they only have one selling house sold for the last 12 months, you might have a problem, because they he or she may not be able to understand all the updated terms and conditions in the contract, as well as all the marketing strategy that recently new to the market that can help you out implement those strategy, right? So that's number two question. The number three question is, in what way will you encourage other realtor to show or sell my house? This is basically asking about touching to the marketing strategy that they are going to do when they list your house on the market. What can you tell me about the real estate market? This is extremely important because if a real estate agent do not understand the current market, they cannot recommend the best strategy for you. For example, if during COVID, if during 2021 and 2022, right, that the market is super hot, and if the real estate agent recommend you like, hey, just list it more conservative, right, then you may not have all the profits that you have. Right? So depend on the market, they have to understand the market to tailor the recommendation to that specific market, right? Next question, what price do you recommend and how do you come up with that number? It just not depend on, one or two houses, or maybe just based on their feeling, right? It's gonna be challenging to be able to do that, because if the pricing nowadays is super important and the buyer is very sensitive in that, right? So that's the reason why they have to have a system to come up with a suggested price. It's more than just the price, because most of the agents try to like tell the price, any price really high that the seller want to hear, and then end up cannot sell at that price. Okay, and many more. If you are interested in know the list of all the questions, all the 50 questions that you should ask, text agent questions to 480-480-7948, and I'm more than happy to send you a copy of that. Okay. Next strategy. This is buy before you sell. This strategy is best fit basically based on the name, right? You are going to buy another house and then sell this house later. The benefit of that is that, think about it, when you sell a house, the stress is high, right? There's a lot of things to do. Not only just the agent, but also the homeowner has to do some work, for example, renovation work, preparation work, to make sure that everything is ready for the sale, right? And buying a house is also another stress. So if you combine both of them together, it's gonna be double. No, not only double, triple, maybe 10 times the stress if you do one at a time. That's the reason why, for those of you who qualify, who is able to do this, buy before you sell is the best strategy. Meaning that you go buy another house, right? Live into that house, move into that house, and leave the current house vacant so that you can sell it later on. Okay, so that is the strategy. What might not work though? Because obviously you see most of the people buying a house today has mortgage, right? So even the first one or the second one, in the situation that they buy before you sell, they have to make sure that they qualify for both mortgages at the same time. And that may be challenging for some people with either low income, with a lot of debt, or even in this situation in which the market interest rate is very high. So it's very difficult to qualify for multiple houses, multiple properties all at once. Okay, what are some solution? All right, so there's some company there out there like a Homeward or Easy Knock, right? They do offer a program specifically applied to those who want to do this, but cannot use their own mortgage. Okay, so what I can do is they are going to when you apply for the program, and they give you the qualification in which you can actually go buy the house. When you select the house that you like, they are going to use their own cash, the cash from the company, to purchase that property under their name, right? Under their name, you move into that property, get ready for the first house to be sold, and then later on you sell that property back to the market when it's ready. Now, what's the catch? Obviously, no one does. Oh, what's the catch on that, right? Obviously, no one does anything for free. right? So in Homeward and Easy Knock, there's always a fee associated with that. And the fee is different depending on the company, and it's recently changed as well. In previous webinar, I normally talk about the fee number, but I just find out that the fee changed, so I don't want to mention that anymore. But that is the normally. So if you're interested in learning more about fee, feel free to contact me or even check their website. Right, more than happy to discuss with that as well. But there's a fee associated with that. Additionally, remember when they buy for you the new house, the house is under their name. When you move into it, you have to pay the market rent, and sometimes the market rent is for short term. It's going to be more expensive than the long term rental rent, right? So that is a catch, right? There's a fee. And even if they offer, even sometimes they are going to offer some kind of waive program in which if you use their lender, their affiliated partner for lending option, then you will be able to waive some portion of the fee, but it's still a high fee and you have to pay for that. Okay. If you want to buy the convenient fee, I think it's worth for the fee, for the rental. If you're not into it, then maybe it's not an option for you. All right. So that's strategy number 2. Strategy number 3 is creative financing. And some of you may heard of the term seller financing. But what basically the idea is that in which the seller is going to offer you, instead of receiving the money all at once at closing, they are willing to receive money on the regular monthly basis. The question is why? Why would they do that? There's some two situations. Number one, in which they want to have more profit for the sale. For example, this is specifically for the situation in which they already own the property free and clear, right? So instead of selling the house for, let's say the market value is 500, right? They are going to charge you an interest amount, maybe like about 2 or 3 or 5% interest rate, right? Which is still very good compared to the current market right now, about 7%, right? For the primary home. So for that reason, instead of receiving $500,000, they probably only have maybe, I don't know, depend on the negotiation, somewhere around maybe $15,000 or maybe $100,000 up front, and the remaining they're gonna receive on the monthly basic and an interest. Therefore, they're gonna have more profit on the sale of the property. Or number 2 situation in which the owner has a distress situation. Distress situation could be facing foreclosure, facing divorce, and the equity of the house doesn't cover all the current debt that they have. So in that situation, is normally you're gonna hear this term sub 2, right? Meaning that the owner, the new buyer, is gonna take over the current debt of the current monthly payment of the seller, of the owner, and then continue making that payment. Okay. So those are the 2 situations in which the reason why the seller want to sell, creative financing option. Is it illegal? Right? In fact, it is 100% legal. All right. Arizona Association of Realtor actually have a specific template addendum to the purchase contract, so that all the terms and all the conditions about a creative financing option can be clarified, can be specified in that addendum. Okay, so if it is not illegal, the Arizona Association of Realtor wouldn't do this. So why haven't the next question is probably why you haven't heard of that strategy, right? It is not common for the residential real estate, right? It's become more and more popular nowadays because of the high interest rate. It used to be very low, like 2 or 3 or 5% interest rate, mortgage interest rate, and therefore it's not popular. But nowadays, with the interest rate go like 7, or sometimes with the investor, you can go as high as 13%. Right, so a lot of people are discussing about taking over current mortgage because they have much lower interest rate, or offer willing to pay higher at the end of the day, and then making the monthly payment for that reason. Okay. I still have mortgage. Can I do that? Yes. The question is yes, right? That is actually the sub 2. But if you actually not in the distress situation, I actually don't see the reason why you have to do that unless you want to make more profit on that. And there's a way as well. For example, if you are right now making the payment to the bank at 3% interest rate, you may combine a deal and make it so that the new owner gonna pay you 5%, which is still good, still better uh, than the mortgage option right now open on the market, right? And therefore, you still get the extra 2%. That you can earn more profit. So yes, absolutely, you can do that even if you have the mortgage in place right now. The last strategy I want to talk to is selling to investor. And in 4A, and I distinguish the 4A and 4B is mainly because one is the international company, is a big company backed by Wall Street money, right? iBuyer company. Those are the companies, if you heard, like Open Door, Redfin, OfferPad, Zillow used to do this program as well, but they become bankruptcy for that program, right? And they're no longer doing iBuyer program, but those are the company and other local company as well. Basic idea of iBuyer is that, or any kind of investor is that the investor going, or the iBuyer company going to buy your property using their own cash or their own hard money loan, right? The way that the iBuyer company get profit is from the fee of the program, because again, the homeowner buy the convenience for the cost, right? And then the second benefit is that the iBuyer then gonna resell the property to the open market, right? Take into the loss of the holding cost, right? And then sell it back to the open market, right? And get the profit from that as well. So that's how they do it. Do you need an agent when you work with an iBuyer? This is a great question. It's very similar to when I buy a brand new house. Do I need an agent to represent you? The question is, it depends. The answer is, it depends, right? If you are an experienced owner, if you are an experienced buyer, you probably don't. You don't need to. If you are able to navigate all the terms of the contracts and you are able to negotiate on your behalf, then you can do it. But if you are not technical person, or you are not familiar with all the real estate terms in the contract, you do need someone who can help you out with navigate all the terms and negotiate to make sure that you get the best profit for you. All the iBuyers company offers create equal? Well, this is a great question. This is another reason why you should have an agent, because all the iBuyers company, all buyer companies can offer differently, right? Some people are going to offer you more, some people are going to offer you less, and therefore it is needed to have someone who can represent you. Okay. And the other options last is the wholesaler option. This is similar concept to the iBuyer, right? They also investor, but they are not normally is a person, a smaller company. The same basic idea is the offering lower than the market value to acquire the property, to help you get out the property as soon as possible. And then they're gonna resell the contract to a different person, right? So the same concept, this may not work for someone who, because not for everyone, is because the wholesaler, because of the strategy they do, like I said, offer less than the market value. A lot of people wondering, hey, let's try to see how much less. It's gonna be normally from 7 to 85% less than the market value, and that doesn't work for a lot of situations. Okay, but for some situation, it makes sense because they can be out of the property very quickly. Maybe the house is in a horrible shape condition, cannot sell to the open market. That is when the wholesaler makes sense. Okay, because those wholesaler gonna find the fix and flipper or the long-term rental investor and sell it back to those people, and those people are gonna make the house much nicer. Okay. Now that is all the strategy that I have to share with you. How are you able to identify which strategy is better than which, and which one is benefit to you, right? Normally, I have the two measurements here. One is proceed that you want on the y-axis, and one is the stress level. The traditional method most of the time gonna be for the seller that do not have any distress situation. They don't have to move immediately. They don't have the horrible house. That the house is in good condition, right? And therefore, normally gonna give them the most proceed, because this one, even though there's still a closing cost associated with that, they don't have additional costs that other strategy may have. For example, the buy before you sell, you probably have to pay if you use Homeward or Homeward what's the other company I drawing a blank now? Oh, Knock, Easy Knock, right? Then you have to pay a fee. Creative financing option, you do some of the time you get higher proceed, but it has to be a long run. It cannot be right immediately, right? So this one right here is like for today, this is how much you get. This is creative financing. You get a higher proceed for the long run. And then if you are in foreclosure situation and you don't have the money to pay down the balance, then creative financing is an option. Cash investor gonna have the lowest net proceed of the four strategy, but it result a lot of high stress situation for the homeowner. So if you are interested in learning which option specifically fits your situation, feel free to text seller options to 480-480-7948. And then I'm more than happy to schedule a call with you to discuss about your situation and help you determine which strategy is best for you. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching the webinar today. If you do have any question, or if you feel this webinar makes sense, helpful for a lot of people, feel free to share it with your friends, your family member, and invite them to the next webinar for a live Q&A question. For that, thank you and have a good day.
Welcome to the vibrant city of Chandler, Arizona, a place where investment opportunities are as abundant as the sunshine.
Hello, I am Long Le, your go-to realtor here in the heart of Chandler. I specialize in helping new investors to acquiring exceptional investment properties here in this dynamic city.
With a deep understanding of the local market and a passion for real estate, Long Le is dedicated to finding the perfect investment for every client.
Whether you are investing in single-family home or multi-family unit,
I'm here to provide you with a personalized service that aligns with your investment goals.
Benefit from Long Le's expertise in market trends, property valuation, and investment strategies, ensuring your journey into real estate investment is both profitable and enjoyable.
Chandler is not just a place to invest in, but it is also a community to be a part of. From its welcoming neighborhood to its thriving business landscape, there's no better place to start your investment journey.
So let's embark on this exciting journey together. I am Long Le, your local real estate expert in Chandler and Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm here to make your dream a success reality.